The leaves on the trees were dull, and the usual cheerful songs of birds were replaced by an eerie silence. Following the directions she had heard, Elara made her way through the forest, guided by a sense of urgency. After walking for hours, she arrived at the edge of the enchanted grove. The entrance was marked by 2 ancient stone pillars covered in glowing ivy. As she approached, the pillars parted to reveal a path lined with luminescent flowers. Elara took a deep breath and stepped into the grove. The grove was a sight to behold, but its beauty was fading. The trees, once vibrant, were now withering, and the magical creatures she had heard of were nowhere to be seen. At the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient tree known as the heart of the forest. Its branches stretched out, but its leaves were wilted and its light dim. As Elara approached the heart of the forest, she was met by a graceful figure, a beautiful fairy named Lysandra. Lysandra's wings sparkled faintly, but her expression was troubled. "Welcome, brave one," Lysandra said. "The heart of the forest is losing its magic, and so is the entire grove. To restore the grove's magic, you must complete 3 tasks that will prove your courage, wisdom, and compassion." Elara nodded, ready to face the challenges ahead. The first task was the trial of courage. Lysandra led Elara to a misty part of the grove where a deep chasm separated them from a magical crystal glowing faintly on the other side. The chasm was spanned by a narrow, swaying bridge made of vines and branches. Elara hesitated for a moment but remembered why she had come. With determination, she carefully crossed the bridge, focusing on each step. The bridge swayed and creaked, but Elara's courage saw her through. She reached the other side and retrieved the crystal. As she touched it, the mist began to clear, and the grove's colors brightened slightly. For the second task, the trial of wisdom, Lysandra guided Elara to a serene glade where a wise old tortoise named Tiberius awaited. Tiberius had a riddle for Elara: "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle carefully. After thinking about it, she replied, "A map." Tiberius smiled and nodded. "You have shown wisdom. The next task is the trial of compassion." Lysandra then led Elara to a hidden grove where many injured and weary animals lay. The grove was in disarray, with fallen leaves and tangled vines. Elara immediately set to work, using her skills and supplies to tend to the animals, clean the grove, and bring comfort to the creatures. As Elara worked, the animals slowly regained their strength, and the grove began to heal. Flowers started to bloom, and the magical creatures began to appear, their lights growing brighter. With the final task completed, Lysandra led Elara back to the heart of the forest. The ancient tree's light began to flicker back to life as the grove's magic was restored. Lysandra spoke with gratitude, "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and compassion. The grove's magic is renewed, and the heart of the forest is whole once more." Elara felt a warm glow of satisfaction as the grove came back to life around her. The trees regained their vibrant colors, the animals danced happily, and the enchanted flowers shone brightly. Lysandra gifted Elara a small, glowing pendant as a token of gratitude. "This pendant will allow you to call upon the grove's magic whenever you need it," she said. Elara returned to her village, where she was welcomed as a hero. The villagers marveled at the stories of her adventure and celebrated the restoration of the forest's magic. The enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and beauty, and Elara's bravery was remembered for generations. And so, Elara lived happily, always cherishing the magic of the forest and the lessons she had learned about courage, wisdom, and compassion. The end. Once upon a time, in a serene valley surrounded by gentle hills, there was a small village where magic was a part of everyday life. The village was known for its beautiful gardens, vibrant markets, and, most importantly, an ancient willow tree that stood at the center of the village square. The willow was called the Whispering Willow, for it was said to have the power to grant wishes to those who truly believed. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind-hearted and always eager to help others. She had a special bond with the Whispering Willow, often sitting beneath its branches to seek comfort and inspiration. However, Elara's village was facing a severe problem, an endless drought that had withered their crops and left the villagers in despair. One evening, as Elara sat beneath the willow tree, she whispered her heartfelt wish to the ancient tree, "Please help our village. We need water to save our crops and bring life back to our home." The willow's branches swayed gently, and its leaves rustled as if in response. The next morning, the village elder approached Elara with an old, weathered map that had been discovered in a hidden chest in the elder's attic. The map seemed to indicate the location of a magical spring that could end the drought, but it was located deep in the Forbidden Forest, a place no one had ventured into for generations due to its mysterious and dangerous reputation. Determined to help her village, Elara decided to embark on the journey to find the magical spring. With the map in hand, she packed some provisions and set out, accompanied by her loyal dog, Finn. As Elara and Finn ventured into the Forbidden Forest, they encountered their first challenge, a dense fog that obscured their path. The fog was enchanted to disorient travelers, making it difficult to find their way. Elara noticed that the fog seemed to part slightly whenever she spoke kindly to it. Using her gentle words and her kindness, she and Finn made their way through the fog and emerged into a clearing. In the clearing, they found a beautiful, ancient stone archway adorned with glowing runes. The archway was the entrance to the deeper part of the forest, and Elara could feel its magic pulsating. As they walked through the archway, they came across a wise old fox named Thorn, who was known to guard the forest's secrets. Thorn greeted them with a curious gaze. "To continue on your quest, you must complete 3 tasks," he said. "Only then will you be worthy of finding the magical spring." Task 1, the Trial of Courage. The first task was to retrieve a silver feather from the nest of a majestic griffin perched high on a cliff. The griffin was known for its fierce protection of its nest. Elara and Finn climbed the cliff carefully, making sure not to disturb the griffin. When they reached the nest, Elara spoke softly and respectfully to the griffin, explaining her quest. The griffin, sensing her pure intentions, allowed her to take a single feather. Task 2, the Trial of Wisdom. The second task involved solving a complex puzzle created by the forest's magic. The puzzle was a series of intricate patterns formed by glowing mushrooms on the forest floor. Elara had to rearrange the mushrooms to match a hidden pattern that would reveal the next part of the path. Using her sharp mind and careful observation, Elara solved the puzzle, and a hidden pathway opened before them. Task 3, the Trial of Compassion. The final task required Elara to help a wounded fawn find its way back to its family. The fawn had been separated from its herd and was frightened and weak. Elara used the silver feather to comfort and guide the fawn, showing it kindness and patience. With Finn's help, they led the fawn back to its family, who welcomed the fawn with gratitude. Having completed the 3 tasks, Elara and Finn reached the heart of the Forbidden Forest, where they found the magical spring. The spring was a crystal-clear pool surrounded by glowing flowers and vibrant vegetation. Elara filled a small vial with the water from the spring, which shimmered with a soothing, blue light. Returning to the village, Elara poured the magical water onto the withered crops. As the water touched the earth, it transformed the barren fields into lush, green meadows. The villagers rejoiced as their crops began to flourish once more, and the village returned to its vibrant state. The Whispering Willow, pleased with Elara's bravery, wisdom, and compassion, whispered a final blessing: "May the spirit of kindness and courage always guide you and your village." Elara's adventure became a treasured tale in the village, a story of hope and perseverance that inspired everyone. The village thrived, and the Whispering Willow remained a symbol of the magic that lives in acts of courage, wisdom, and compassion. And so, the village flourished under the warm sun and lush fields, with Elara's legacy of kindness and bravery living on in the hearts of all. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the meadows were as soft as velvet and the night sky sparkled with endless stars, there was a village named Starhaven. This village was blessed with a mystical meadow that glowed with moonlight every night, its flowers blooming in shades of silver and gold. The meadow was magical, said to grant one true wish to those who visited under a full moon. In Starhaven lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Lila loved the meadow and its enchanting beauty, but she was troubled by a deep concern. Her beloved grandmother, whom she adored, had fallen ill. The village healer had tried everything, but the illness remained a mystery. Lila knew that the meadow's magic might be able to help, so she decided to make a wish for her grandmother's health. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Lila set out for the meadow. She carried a small, silver locket that her grandmother had given her, a family heirloom believed to be touched by the meadow's magic. The path to the meadow was lined with glowing fireflies, leading Lila through the dense forest. When Lila arrived at the moonlit meadow, she was awestruck by its beauty. The meadow was illuminated by a soft, ethereal glow, and the flowers shimmered like stars on the ground. In the center of the meadow stood a grand old oak tree, its branches stretching towards the sky. At the base of the tree was a large, ancient stone with an inscription, "Speak your heart's true desire, and the moon's magic will inspire." Lila approached the stone, clutching the locket tightly. She took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, "I wish for my grandmother to be healed. She is the kindest person I know, and her laughter is the light of our village." As soon as she finished her wish, the moonlight grew brighter, and a gentle breeze began to stir. Suddenly, a soft, melodic voice filled the meadow. It was the voice of the Moon Fairy, a delicate and shimmering figure who appeared before Lila. "Your wish is noble, and your heart is true," the Moon Fairy said with a warm smile. "But the magic of the meadow is not always straightforward. To grant your wish, you must complete a quest." Lila listened intently as the Moon Fairy explained the quest. She needed to find 3 magical flowers hidden in the meadow. Each flower represented a different quality: hope, courage, and love, and only by finding all 3 would the meadow's magic be fully awakened. The first flower, the blossom of hope, was said to glow softly beneath the largest star in the sky. Lila looked up and found the brightest star, and beneath it, she discovered a delicate flower bathed in silver light. She gently picked the blossom of hope and moved on to the next challenge. The second flower, the courage bloom, was hidden in the shadow of the ancient oak tree. It was a vibrant, crimson flower with petals that seemed to pulse with a steady heartbeat. To find it, Lila had to confront her fears and bravely enter the shadowy part of the meadow, where the darkness seemed to whisper doubts and fears. With her heart full of determination, Lila faced the shadows and found the courage bloom nestled among the roots of the oak tree. The final flower, the love petal, was the most elusive. It was said to appear only when true love was expressed. Lila knew that the love petal would not be found through searching alone but through the genuine care she had for her grandmother. She took a moment to think about her grandmother's kindness, her laughter, and her love for Lila. As she focused on these feelings, the love petal appeared gently floating on the breeze, its soft, pink light glowing warmly. With all 3 flowers in hand, Lila returned to the ancient stone at the center of the meadow. The Moon Fairy reappeared, and Lila placed the flowers on the stone. The flowers glowed brightly, and their lights merged into a single, radiant beam that shot up towards the moon. The Moon Fairy waved her wand, and a soft, silvery mist enveloped the flowers. "You have shown hope, courage, and love," she said. "The magic of the meadow will now grant your wish." As the mist cleared, Lila felt a surge of warmth and hope. The next morning, she rushed back to her grandmother's side. To her amazement, her grandmother's color had returned, and she was smiling and full of energy. Lila hugged her grandmother tightly, tears of joy streaming down her face. Her grandmother looked at her with a knowing smile and said, "My dear, it was your love and bravery that healed me. The magic of the meadow only helped bring out the true power of your heart." The village celebrated the return of their beloved elder, and Lila's bravery and love were celebrated by all. The moonlit meadow remained a place of wonder and magic, reminding everyone of the true power of hope, courage, and love. And so, under the endless stars and the glowing light of the moonlit meadow, the village of Starhaven thrived, forever blessed by the magic of a kind-hearted girl's wish and the unbreakable bond of family. In the tranquil glow of the meadow, Lila learned that the greatest magic of all was the love and strength within her heart. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between towering mountains in a vast forest, lived a little sparrow named Pip. Pip was the smallest bird in the entire village, with feathers that were a dull brown color. All the other birds had bright, beautiful feathers, reds, blues, and greens, that made them stand out. Because of his small size and plain feathers, Pip often felt unnoticed and unimportant. Every day, the birds would gather in the village square to sing their beautiful songs, showing off their feathers to the people who would come to listen. Pip always stood at the back, quietly listening. He wanted to join in, but he was too shy and thought no one would want to listen to a plain sparrow like him. So, he stayed quiet and watched from a distance. One day, a strange thing happened in the village. A wise old owl flew into the square with urgent news. "Listen, everyone," the owl hooted. "Far away in the mountains, a terrible drought has begun. The river is drying up, and soon there will be no water for anyone. But there is hope. There is a legend of a golden flower that grows deep in the enchanted forest. This flower can bring rain and save the land. However, it is hidden and guarded by a fierce dragon. Only the bravest among us can retrieve it." All the birds looked at each other, unsure of what to do. The idea of facing a dragon was terrifying, and the enchanted forest was full of unknown dangers. Pip felt his tiny heart beating fast. He knew he was small and plain, but he couldn't bear the thought of the river drying up and the forest dying. Gathering all his courage, Pip fluttered forward. "I will go and find the golden flower," he chirped. The other birds gasped in surprise. "But Pip, you are so small," said a robin. "How can you face a dragon?" Pip stood tall as a little sparrow could. "I may be small, but my heart is strong. I will do my best to save our home." The wise old owl looked at Pip with kind eyes. "Bravery does not come from size, but from the heart," the owl said. "Go, Pip, and may the wind be under your wings." With those words, Pip set off towards the enchanted forest. He flew over the village, past the meadows, and into the thick trees of the forest. The forest was dark and mysterious, with tall trees that blocked the sunlight. Strange sounds echoed around him, and shadows moved between the bushes. Pip felt scared, but he reminded himself why he was there. He thought of the village, the drying river, and all the other birds depending on him. He flew deeper into the forest, determined to find the golden flower. After flying for what felt like hours, Pip saw a faint glow in the distance. He followed the light and found himself in a small clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood the golden flower. It was the most beautiful thing Pip had ever seen. Its petals were bright and shiny, and it gave off a warm, golden light that made the whole clearing glow. For a moment, Pip forgot about his fears and felt a sense of wonder. But just as he was about to fly towards the flower, a loud roar shook the forest. A huge dragon with scales as dark as the night emerged from the shadows. Its eyes glowed red, and smoke curled from its nostrils. "Who dares enter my forest?" the dragon growled. Pip's heart pounded in his chest, but he knew he had to be brave. He took a deep breath and fluttered forward. "I am Pip, a sparrow from the village," he said. "Our land is suffering from a drought, and we need the golden flower to bring the rain. Please, let me take it." The dragon looked down at Pip and laughed. "You? A tiny sparrow? What makes you think you can take my golden flower?" the dragon sneered. "You are too small and weak. Go back to your village, or I will make you my dinner." Pip trembled but did not back down. "I may be small, but my heart is strong. I will do anything to save my home." The dragon stared at Pip for a moment, surprised by his courage. "Very well," the dragon said. "If you can answer my riddle, I will let you take the golden flower. But if you fail, you will leave and never return." Pip nodded, ready to try. "Here is my riddle," the dragon said. "I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I?" Pip thought hard. He remembered the times he had watched people in the village lighting fires to cook food. Fires were always hungry for wood, and they burned whatever they touched. "The answer is fire," Pip said confidently. The dragon's eyes widened, impressed. "You are right, little sparrow," the dragon said. "You have answered my riddle correctly. You may take the golden flower." Pip couldn't believe it. He had done it. He carefully plucked the golden flower and thanked the dragon. "You are brave and wise, little sparrow," the dragon said. "Remember, true strength comes from within." Pip nodded and flew back towards the village, the golden flower clutched in his beak. As Pip returned to the village, the people and birds cheered. They gathered around him, and Pip placed the golden flower in the center of the village square. Its light spread across the land, and soon, dark clouds began to gather in the sky. Rain started to fall, first in gentle drops, then in a steady shower. The river filled up, and the forest came alive with color again. Everyone in the village celebrated, and Pip was hailed as a hero. From that day on, Pip was no longer the unnoticed, plain sparrow. He was known as the bravest bird in the village, the one who had saved them all. Pip realized that it didn't matter how small he was or how plain his feathers were. What mattered was the strength of his heart and the courage to do what was right. And so, Pip lived happily, always ready to help others and never doubting his worth again. He knew that even the smallest of creatures could make a big difference in the world. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and a deep, ancient forest, there was a grand castle ruled by King Cedric. The kingdom was known for its lush gardens, sparkling rivers, and the legendary whispering tree that stood in the heart of the enchanted forest. The tree was said to hold ancient secrets and wisdom, but only those with pure hearts could understand its whispers. King Cedric had a daughter named Princess Eliza, who was as brave as she was kind. One day, the kingdom was struck by a terrible drought, and the once thriving lands began to wither. The people feared that the whispering tree's magic, which was said to bring prosperity to the land, had been lost or stolen. Desperate to save her people, Princess Eliza decided to embark on a quest to find out what had happened to the whispering tree and restore its magic. Her father, though worried, knew she was the only one brave enough for the task. He gave her a magical amulet that would protect her and guide her on her journey. Princess Eliza set out early one morning, her heart full of determination. As she ventured into the enchanted forest, the trees seemed to part for her, guiding her deeper into their ancient depths. She soon came across a shimmering river, where she met a friendly, talking fish named Finn. Finn was troubled and revealed that the river, which was once clear and full of life, had grown dark and murky. "The whispering tree's magic has been stolen," Finn said. "I saw dark shadows moving towards the heart of the forest. You must hurry." Thanking Finn, Princess Eliza continued her journey. The forest grew denser and darker, but the amulet around her neck glowed brightly, lighting her path. She soon arrived at a grove where she encountered a wise old turtle named Tiberius. Tiberius was known for his knowledge of the forest and its secrets. To find the whispering tree, Tiberius said, "You must face 3 trials. The first trial is the trial of courage. You must cross the Bridge of Shadows, which tests the bravery of all who attempt it." Princess Eliza approached the Bridge of Shadows, a narrow, rickety bridge suspended over a deep chasm. The shadows below seemed to twist and writhe, creating an eerie and frightening atmosphere. Taking a deep breath, Princess Eliza stepped onto the bridge. Her courage guided her through, and despite the terrifying shadows, she crossed safely. Her next challenge was the trial of kindness. Tiberius led her to a glade where a family of deer was trapped in a net. The net was enchanted, and the more the deer struggled, the tighter it became. Princess Eliza used her gentle touch and cleverness to free the deer and calm them. In gratitude, the lead deer, a majestic stag, gifted her a golden leaf that would grant her strength and protection. With the golden leaf in hand, Princess Eliza continued to the final trial, the trial of wisdom. She arrived at a stone altar with an ancient book and a riddle inscribed upon it. The riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you cannot go outside. What am I?" Princess Eliza pondered the riddle and realized the answer was a piano. She spoke the answer aloud, and the stone altar revealed a hidden passage leading deeper into the forest. The passage led to a dark cavern where the whispering tree stood, its once vibrant leaves now wilted and dark. A shadowy figure, the dark sorcerer Mulvadair, was attempting to drain the tree's magic into a dark crystal. Princess Eliza, with the amulet glowing brightly in the golden leaf in hand, confronted Mulvadair. "The magic of the whispering tree belongs to the land and its people," she declared. "You have no right to take it." Mulvadair sneered and tried to cast a spell to defend himself, but the amulet's magic protected Princess Eliza. She used the golden leaf to channel the tree's remaining magic and counter Mulvadair's dark forces. A fierce battle of light and shadow ensued, but Princess Eliza's bravery and pure heart proved stronger. In a final, desperate move, Mulvadair tried to escape. But Princess Eliza used the amulet to trap him within a protective barrier. The dark crystal shattered, and the stolen magic flowed back to the whispering tree. Its leaves began to glow and shimmer once more, restoring its power and beauty. With the whispering tree's magic returned, the enchanted forest flourished once again. The drought in the kingdom ended, and the lands began to heal. Princess Eliza returned to the castle, where she was celebrated as a hero. The people of the kingdom rejoiced, and the whispering tree's wisdom and magic continued to bless the land. King Cedric was proud of his daughter's bravery and selflessness. Princess Eliza's adventure became a legendary tale, teaching the kingdom that courage, kindness, and wisdom could overcome even the darkest of challenges. And so, the kingdom thrived, bathed in the light of the whispering tree, where the magic of the forest and the bravery of one young princess created a legacy that would be remembered for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where enchanted forests met shimmering lakes, there was a peaceful village named Everglow. Everglow was known for its enchanting beauty and the legend of the Starflower, a magical blossom that was said to bloom only once every century under the light of the full moon. The flower's petals were believed to hold the power to grant one heartfelt wish. The villagers of Everglow cherished the tale of the Starflower, hoping that one day someone would be able to find it and make a wish that would bring great joy to the land. However, despite numerous attempts, no one had ever been successful in finding the elusive bloom. The quest to discover it was said to be a journey of both heart and courage. In this village lived a humble fisherman named Leo. Leo was known for his kindness and willingness to help others. Despite his modest means, he shared whatever he had with those in need and always put others before himself. His greatest joy came from the simple beauty of the natural world around him. And he often spoke of his dream to bring peace and happiness to all of Everglow. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silver glow across the land, a sudden and mysterious drought struck Everglow. The lakes and rivers dried up, and the once green fields turned to dust. The villagers grew anxious as their crops withered and their lives were disrupted. Elder Maris, the village elder, called for a gathering and revealed that the drought was the result of an ancient enchantment gone awry. The only hope to restore balance was to find the Starflower and make a wish to lift the curse. Feeling a deep sense of responsibility and compassion, Leo volunteered to seek out the Starflower. Armed with a lantern, a map of the old forest, and his unwavering heart, he set out on his quest under the full moon's light. Leo's journey took him through 3 magical trials, each testing his resolve and kindness. The first trial was the trial of the Whispering Forest. The forest was dense and filled with magical creatures that spoke in riddles and illusions. Leo found himself lost among the trees, as whispers tried to lead him astray. Remembering his father's advice to trust his instincts, Leo followed the sound of a soft, soothing melody that led him to a hidden glade. There, a wise old fox named Phelan appeared. Phelan recognized Leo's sincerity and offered him a silver acorn, which would light the way through the next trial. The second trial was the trial of the Mirror Lake. Leo arrived at a lake so clear it mirrored the night sky perfectly. The lake was said to be enchanted, with reflections that could confuse or mislead. Leo used the silver acorn's light to pierce through the reflections and navigate the lake's edge. He encountered a beautiful swan trapped in a net. With gentle care, he freed the swan, who revealed herself to be an enchantress named Selene. Grateful for his kindness, she gifted Leo a vial of moon water, promising it would aid him in the final trial. The final trial was the trial of the moonlit glade. Leo entered a serene glade illuminated by the full moon's silvery light. At the center of the glade stood an ancient stone pedestal covered in glowing moss. On the pedestal lay a large, ornate key. However, the glade was guarded by a fearsome, shadowy beast. Leo knew that the key was crucial to finding the starflower, but he needed to confront the beast. Leo approached the beast with courage but also with empathy. He spoke softly, acknowledging the creature's fear and pain. Through his gentle words and calm presence, he discovered that the beast was under a spell, bound to guard the key out of loneliness and sorrow. With the moon water given by Selene, Leo broke the spell, freeing the beast from its torment. The beast transformed into a noble guardian and presented Leo with the key, revealing the entrance to the hidden chamber where the starflower awaited. Leo used the key to unlock a secret door in the glade. Inside, bathed in the moon's radiant light, was the starflower, a stunning blossom with petals that glowed like 1,000 stars. Leo approached the flower with reverence and made his wish, "I wish for the restoration of our land and the happiness of all the people of Everglow." The starflower's petals shimmered brightly, and its magic spread across the land. The drought was lifted, and the lakes and rivers began to flow once more. The fields turned lush and green, and the villagers rejoiced as their lives returned to normal. The curse was lifted, and Everglow flourished once again. Leo returned to the village as a hero, celebrated for his bravery and kindness. The tale of the starflower and Leo's selfless wish was passed down through generations, becoming a beloved story of hope, courage, and the power of a pure heart. And so, in the land of Everglow, where the lakes shimmered under the moonlight and the fields blossomed with life, the legend of the starflower lived on, a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can bring about great change. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky sparkled with 1,000 stars each night, there was a quaint village named Starhaven. The village was renowned for its dazzling night skies, where constellations seemed to dance and shimmer with life. The villagers believed that each star held a story, and they revered a magical figure known as the Star Keeper. The Star Keeper, an elderly man named Orion, was the guardian of the stars and the keeper of their stories. He lived in a humble cottage on the highest hill, where he carefully tended to a collection of star maps and magical lanterns. Each night, Orion would climb the hill, releasing enchanted lanterns into the sky that guided lost travelers and granted wishes to those with pure hearts. In Starhaven lived a young girl named Lyra, whose eyes sparkled like the stars themselves. Lyra was known for her kindness and curiosity, always dreaming of exploring the world beyond her village. One clear, moonlit night, as Lyra gazed up at the heavens, she made a wish upon the brightest star, hoping to visit far-off lands and experience grand adventures. The next morning, as Lyra walked through the village, she saw Orion's lanterns being prepared for their nightly journey. She decided to visit the Star Keeper to learn more about the magic of the stars and to seek his guidance on her wish. Climbing the hill to Orion's cottage, Lyra was greeted by the gentle hum of celestial music and the soft glow of star maps. Orion welcomed her with a warm smile and invited her inside. Lyra shared her dream of adventure and her wish to see the world beyond Starhaven. Orion listened carefully and then nodded. The stars are full of wonder and magic, and they hold many secrets. If you wish to explore beyond our village, you must first complete a journey of your own. This will prove your heart's true desire and ensure that you are ready for the adventures that await. Lyra's eyes sparkled with excitement. What must I do? Orion handed her a small, silver compass with intricate designs. This compass will guide you, but it will only point the way when you are true to yourself and follow your heart. Your journey will take you to 3 places, each revealing a lesson that you must learn. Only then will you be ready to explore the stars. Lyra thanked Orion and set off with the compass in hand. Her first destination was the Whispering Woods, a forest where the trees were said to speak in soft, melodic whispers. As she entered the forest, she noticed a small, injured bird beneath the trees. Without hesitation, Lyra gently picked up the bird and tended to its wing. She gathered some herbs and carefully bandaged the bird's injury. As she worked, the trees began to hum softly, their whispers encouraging her. The bird's eyes glowed with gratitude, and it soon flew off into the sky, healthy once more. The compass glowed warmly in Lyra's hand, and she continued her journey to the second destination, the Crystal Cavern. Inside the cavern, the walls sparkled with shimmering crystals that cast dazzling reflections. Lyra noticed a group of villagers trapped inside a crystal barrier, unable to find their way out. Lyra approached the barrier and spoke to the villagers through it. She discovered that they were trapped because they had been selfish and had not worked together. Lyra, understanding the importance of unity, encouraged them to work as a team, offering them guidance and support. By combining their efforts and focusing on their shared goal, they managed to break free from the barrier. The compass guided Lyra to her final destination, the Mountain of Echoes, where the winds carried voices from afar. At the summit, Lyra encountered a wise old hermit who had lost his way. He was searching for a lost family heirloom that held great sentimental value. Lyra listened to the hermit's story with compassion and promised to help. She followed the echoes of his memories, which led her to a hidden grove where the heirloom was buried. The hermit was overjoyed to be reunited with his precious keepsake, and he shared his gratitude with Lyra, teaching her the value of listening and understanding others. With her journey complete, Lyra returned to Orion's cottage. The Star Keeper greeted her with a proud smile. "You have learned the lessons of kindness, unity, and understanding. The stars have watched your journey and are ready to guide you." Orion handed Lyra a radiant star map and a small lantern. "This map will show you the way to your heart's desires, and this lantern will light your path. Remember to always follow your heart and be true to yourself." Lyra thanked Orion and, with her new gifts, set off on her grand adventure. The lantern's light guided her through wondrous lands, and the star map revealed hidden wonders. Lyra's travels were filled with magical encounters and incredible experiences, and she shared her stories and discoveries with the world. The villagers of Starhaven continued to admire the night skies, now knowing that each star held a piece of Lyra's adventure. And though Lyra's journeys took her far from home, she always remembered the lessons she had learned and the kindness she had encountered along the way. And so, the legend of the Star Keeper and the brave girl who followed her heart lived on, a shining example of courage, kindness, and the magic of the stars. In a land where rolling meadows met whispering woods, there was a small village named Bramblebrook. The village was known for its lush greenery and a grand willow tree that stood at the edge of the forest. This willow was unlike any other. It was said to be enchanted, its branches whispering ancient secrets and tales to those who listened. The guardian of the village was a gentle woman named Elara, known for her kindness and wisdom. Elara had a young daughter named Mira, who loved exploring the woods and listening to the stories of the Whispering Willow. However, as Mira grew older, she became more curious about a mysterious tale her mother had often told her, the story of the Heart of the Forest, a magical gem said to possess the power to bring eternal peace to the land. One crisp autumn morning, the village was struck by a deep and unnatural silence. The Whispering Willow's branches drooped, and its leaves lost their vibrant colors. The villagers were worried, and Elara knew something was wrong. Mira, sensing her mother's concern, decided to embark on a journey to uncover the cause of the willow's sadness and find the heart of the forest. With a heart full of determination and a small pouch of supplies, Mira set off into the woods. Guided by the faint whispers of the willow, she ventured deeper into the forest than she had ever been before. As she walked, the forest seemed to come alive with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant birdsong, though the whispers remained faint. After hours of travel, Mira arrived at a serene glade where the light filtered through the canopy in soft beams. At the center of the glade stood a stone archway covered in ancient runes. As Mira approached, she noticed a golden key hanging from a vine near the archway. The moment she touched the key, the runes began to glow softly, and a voice spoke from within the archway. To find the heart of the forest, you must pass 3 trials of courage, wisdom, and kindness. Mira took a deep breath and stepped through the archway, finding herself in a magical realm filled with towering trees and shimmering pools. She approached the first trial, a roaring river with a bridge that seemed to be made of mist. A voice from the river spoke, "Cross the river without fear, for only then will you reach the other side." Mira hesitated at first, but she remembered the tales her mother had told her about bravery. Taking a deep breath, she stepped onto the misty bridge. As she walked, the mist solidified beneath her feet, and she crossed the river safely. The river's voice thanked her for her courage and allowed her to proceed to the next trial. The second trial was a vast, dark cave with glittering crystals lining the walls. At the entrance of the cave, a wise old owl perched on a branch and asked, "Answer me this riddle. I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Mira thought carefully about the riddle. Her gaze wandered over the cave's walls, and then she realized the answer. "A keyboard," she said confidently. The owl nodded and allowed her to pass. Inside the cave, Mira discovered a chamber filled with glowing orbs. Each orb contained a memory or wish from the villagers of Bramblebrook. Mira gently touched the orbs, feeling their warmth and understanding the importance of each wish. Her heart swelled with compassion, and she knew she had passed the trial of kindness. The final trial led her to a majestic grove where a grand tree stood. This tree had a hollow at its base, and inside was a beautiful, heart-shaped gem, the heart of the forest. The gem was surrounded by a soft, golden light. As Mira reached for the gem, the ground trembled, and a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was a sorrowful spirit who had once been a guardian of the forest but was now trapped by a spell of darkness. The spirit spoke, "To lift the darkness and restore the heart, you must show true compassion and selflessness." Mira took the spirit's hand and offered the heart of the forest, understanding that true peace came from helping others and sharing the light. As she did, the spirit's sorrow faded, and the dark spell was lifted. The heart of the forest glowed brightly, and the magical realm began to shimmer with renewed energy. With the gem safely in her possession, Mira returned to Bramblebrook. As she approached the village, the whispering willow's branches began to lift, and its leaves regained their vibrant green. The villagers cheered as the willow's whispers returned, filling the air with tales of joy and hope. Ilara hugged Mira tightly, her eyes filled with tears of pride. The heart of the forest was placed in the willow's hollow, and its magic restored peace and prosperity to the land. The village thrived once more, and the whispering willow became a beacon of hope and wisdom. Mira's bravery, wisdom, and kindness were celebrated throughout Bramblebrook. The story of her journey and the heart of the forest was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the courage to face challenges, the wisdom to understand, and the kindness to help others. And so, in the heart of the enchanted forest, the village of Bramblebrook continued to flourish, forever touched by the legacy of a brave young girl and the magic of the Whispering Willow. In the light of the restored heart of the forest, the villagers learned that the greatest magic of all comes from within and that the true power of a hero lies in their heart and spirit. Once upon a time, in a realm where the sky shimmered with endless shades of twilight and the mountains seemed to touch the stars, there was a hidden kingdom called Starhaven. Starhaven was a land of perpetual twilight, where magic flowed through the air like a gentle breeze, and the stars above were so close you could almost reach out and touch them. In this magical kingdom, there was a young girl named Lila who lived in a small cottage at the edge of the enchanted meadow. Lila was known throughout Starhaven for her kindness and her incredible gift of talking to the stars. Every night, she would sit on a hill and converse with the twinkling lights, asking them about their secrets and listening to their stories. One evening, as Lila gazed up at the night sky, she noticed something unusual, a star that seemed to flicker and dim, as if it were struggling to shine. Concerned, she asked the stars what was happening. One of the stars, a bright and gentle light named Astra, responded, "Lila, we are losing our light because of a dark enchantment cast by the shadow sorcerer who lives in the Whispering Caves. His magic is draining the light from our stars, and if this continues, the night sky will become dark and lifeless." Lila's heart sank at the thought of the night sky losing its magic. "Is there anything I can do to help?" she asked. Astra's light brightened with hope. You have a pure heart and a brave spirit, Lila. If you venture into the Whispering Caves and break the enchantment, the stars will regain their light. But be cautious, the Shadow Sorcerer's magic is powerful, and he will try to deter you. Determined to save her beloved stars, Lila set out on her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a lantern, a map of the stars, and a locket containing a piece of stardust. Guided by the light of the stars and the soft glow of her lantern, she made her way toward the Whispering Caves. The journey was long and filled with challenges. The path was shrouded in mist, and eerie shadows danced along the edges of her vision. But Lila's courage never wavered. She listened to the whispers of the wind and followed the faint glow of her lantern, which seemed to lead her deeper into the caves. At last, she reached the heart of the Whispering Caves, where the Shadow Sorcerer's lair lay hidden. The sorcerer, a figure cloaked in darkness, was sitting on a throne of shadows, weaving a dark spell that sapped the light from the stars above. The cavern was filled with a cold, oppressive darkness that made it difficult to see. Lila took a deep breath and stepped forward, holding up her lantern to illuminate the area. The light from the lantern, fueled by the stardust in her locket, shone brightly, pushing back the encroaching darkness. The Shadow Sorcerer looked up, his eyes glowing with surprise and anger. "How dare you enter my domain?" the sorcerer roared. "Do you think you can defeat me with mere light?" Lila stood her ground, her heart steady. "I am here to restore the light to the stars and save my kingdom. Your darkness will not prevail." The sorcerer laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the cavern. "Then you will have to face my magic." With a wave of his hand, the sorcerer conjured swirling shadows that lunged at Lila. But she was quick and nimble. She used her lantern to deflect the shadows, each burst of light pushing them back. As she fought, she focused on her love for the stars and her determination to save them. Seeing Lila's bravery, Astra's voice reached her through the darkness. "Remember, Lila, the true power of light comes from within. Use your heart's light to overcome the sorcerer." Lila closed her eyes and thought of the stars, their warmth, and their beauty. She felt a surge of warmth and light within herself, a radiant energy that grew stronger with each passing moment. Opening her eyes, she directed this inner light at the sorcerer. The light was pure and powerful, and it cut through the darkness like a beacon. The Shadow Sorcerer recoiled, his dark magic faltering under the intensity of Lila's light. With a final, desperate effort, he tried to shield himself with a barrier of shadows, but Lila's light was too strong. It shattered the barrier and enveloped the sorcerer, banishing him from the caves and dispelling his dark enchantment. As the sorcerer vanished, the cave began to brighten, and the oppressive darkness lifted. The Whispering Caves were now filled with a soft, comforting light, and the stars above began to twinkle brightly once more. Lila, exhausted but triumphant, made her way back to Starhaven. The night sky greeted her with a breathtaking display of shimmering stars, each one shining with renewed brilliance. The kingdom was filled with joy, and the stars seemed to sing with delight, their light dancing across the sky. When Lila returned to the enchanted meadow, Astra appeared before her, glowing with gratitude. "You have saved the stars and restored the magic of the night sky. Starhaven will forever be in your debt." Lila smiled, her heart full of happiness. "I could not have done it without the help of the stars. It was their light and their stories that guided me." From that day on, Lila was celebrated as a hero in Starhaven. The stars continued to shine brightly, and the kingdom thrived under their gentle light. Lila's courage and kindness were remembered for generations, and her story was passed down as a reminder that even the darkest challenges can be overcome with a pure heart and a steadfast spirit. And every night, as the stars twinkled in the sky, Lila would look up and know that her beloved night sky was safe, its magic restored by the light within her. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between green hills and a sparkling river, there lived a girl named Elara. Elara had a heart full of dreams and a mind full of stories. She loved reading books about faraway lands, brave heroes, and magical creatures. Her favorite place in the entire world was the little bookshop at the corner of the village square, run by a kind old man named Mr. Finch. One rainy afternoon, Elara was walking home from the bookshop, her arms full of new books to read. She didn't mind the rain, it felt like the world was wrapping her in a cool, gentle hug. As she walked past the old oak tree at the edge of the village, she noticed something curious. A colorful umbrella, bright as a rainbow, was hanging from one of its branches. Elara had never seen such a beautiful umbrella before. Its handle was shaped like a golden dragon, and the canopy was covered in stars and moons that seemed to twinkle even in the dim light. Feeling a mix of curiosity and excitement, Elara reached up and took the umbrella from the tree. The moment she touched it, she felt a warm, tingling sensation travel from her fingers all the way down to her toes. She opened the umbrella, and something amazing happened. Instead of rain falling from the sky, the drops turned into tiny sparkling lights, swirling around her like fireflies. Elara laughed with delight and twirled around, watching the lights dance. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke, "Greetings, young one. You found my umbrella." Elara looked around, startled, and saw a tiny figure standing on one of the tree's branches. It was a small, silver-haired fairy with wings that shimmered like a dragonfly's. She wore a dress made of petals and had the brightest eyes Elara had ever seen. "Who are you?" Elara asked, her voice full of wonder. "My name is Lyra," the fairy replied. "This is my magical umbrella. It has the power to take its holder to any place their heart desires." Elara's eyes widened. "Any place? Even places in my storybooks?" Lyra nodded with a smile. "Yes, anywhere your imagination can take you. But remember, the umbrella chooses the heart it believes is kind and true. Today, it chose you." Elara's heart raced with excitement. "Can I try it? Can we go on an adventure right now?" Lyra fluttered down and sat on the umbrella's handle. "Of course. Where would you like to go first?" Elara thought for a moment. "I want to visit a place with dragons and castles, like the ones in my favorite stories." Lyra nodded and waved her hand. The umbrella began to glow, and before Elara knew it, the ground beneath her feet disappeared, replaced by clouds. They were flying through the sky, the village growing smaller and smaller below them. The clouds parted, and Elara gasped at the sight that lay before her. They had arrived at a beautiful land filled with rolling green hills, majestic castles with high towers, and dragons soaring through the sky. One dragon, in particular, caught her eye. It was a magnificent creature with scales that shimmered like emeralds and eyes that glowed like the sun. The dragon spotted Elara and Lyra and flew over, landing gently in front of them. "Hello, little travelers," the dragon said in a deep, rumbling voice. "My name is Emerald. Welcome to Dragon's Hollow." Elara couldn't believe her eyes or ears. "It's wonderful to meet you, Emerald. This place is more beautiful than I ever imagined." Emerald chuckled. "Would you like a ride? There's no better way to see Dragon's Hollow than from the sky." Elara nodded eagerly. Lyra flew up to sit on Emerald's head, and Elara climbed onto the dragon's back. With a powerful flap of his wings, Emerald took off into the sky. They soared over sparkling lakes, lush forests, and fields of wildflowers. Elara felt like she was in one of her storybooks, living out the adventures she had always dreamed of. They visited a castle where a kind queen lived. The queen welcomed them and offered Elara a feast with delicious cakes and fruits she had never tasted before. After the feast, the queen showed Elara her collection of ancient books, each one filled with tales of magic and wonder. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Elara knew it was time to return home. She thanked Emerald, Lyra, and the queen for the incredible day. Lyra took her hand and led her back to the magical umbrella. "Will I ever see you again?" Elara asked, her heart a little heavy with the thought of leaving. Lyra smiled warmly. "As long as you have the umbrella, you can visit any time. Just hold it tight, and think of where you want to go." With one last wave to Emerald and the queen, Elara closed the umbrella. In an instant, she was back by the old oak tree in her village, the rain still falling softly around her. The umbrella was still in her hand, its stars and moon sparkling in the dim light. Elara hurried home, her heart full of joy and her mind buzzing with new stories to tell. She knew that from now on, any time she wanted to visit a faraway land or meet a magical creature, all she had to do was open her magical umbrella. And so, Elara's days were filled with the most amazing adventures. She traveled to enchanted forests, met talking animals, and explored castles made of ice. She always returned home with a new story to share and a smile on her face. The villagers often wondered where she got her incredible tales, but Elara kept the secret of the magical umbrella close to her heart, knowing that some things are even more wonderful when they remain a mystery. As for Lyra and Emerald, they became Elara's dearest friends, always ready to join her on a new journey whenever she needed them. And the umbrella, with its dragon-shaped handle and starry canopy, remained by her side, a symbol of the Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers flowed like silver threads, there lived a young prince named Aiden. Prince Aiden was different from other royals. He was not interested in power or wealth. Instead, his heart yearned for adventure, discovery, and the mysteries of the world beyond the castle walls. He spent his days in the royal library, poring over ancient maps, reading tales of lost treasures, and dreaming of distant lands. One day, as Aiden was exploring a dusty, forgotten corner of the library, he stumbled upon an old, weathered book bound in deep blue leather. The title read, "The Tale of the Starstone." Intrigued, Aiden opened the book and found the story of a magical stone that had fallen from the sky long ago. The Starstone, according to legend, was a source of unimaginable power, capable of granting its possessor any wish. But it was hidden deep within the Enchanted Valley, a place no one had ever returned from. The legend also spoke of a guardian, a fierce dragon named Seraphina, who watched over the Starstone. She was not just any dragon but a creature of both fire and light, whose eyes could see into the hearts of those who sought the stone. Only someone with a pure heart and a true wish could hope to find the Starstone and return safely. Aiden knew this was the adventure he had been waiting for. Determined to find the Starstone and see if the legend was true, he packed a small bag with essentials, took his father's old sword, and set off on his journey, leaving behind a note for his family. As he traveled, the kingdom's lush fields gave way to dense forests, and the air grew cooler. Aiden followed the clues from the book, moving through treacherous terrain, crossing roaring rivers, and climbing steep, rocky paths. Along the way, he encountered many challenges: a bridge guarded by a troll, who demanded a riddle as payment, a forest of shifting shadows, where every tree looked the same, and a mountain pass blocked by a fierce snowstorm. But Aiden's courage and cleverness helped him overcome each obstacle. Finally, after many days of travel, Aiden reached the edge of the Enchanted Valley. The valley was a place of breathtaking beauty. The grass was greener than any he had ever seen, and the flowers glowed with a soft, ethereal light. In the distance, he could see the entrance to a dark cave, where the Starstone was said to be hidden. But before he could reach it, Aiden felt a warm breeze on his face, and the ground began to tremble. Out of the cave emerged Seraphina, the great dragon. Her scales shimmered with a golden hue, and her wings stretched wide, casting a long shadow over the valley. Her eyes, glowing like molten gold, fixed on Aiden, and she let out a low, rumbling growl. "Who dares to enter my domain?" Seraphina's voice was deep and resonant, echoing through the valley. Aiden stepped forward, his heart pounding but his resolve unshaken. "I am Prince Aiden of the Silver Peak Kingdom. I have come to seek the Starstone, not for power, but to prove that it exists. I wish to bring hope and knowledge to my people." Seraphina regarded him with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Many have come before you, seeking the Starstone for their own gain. What makes you different?" Aiden took a deep breath. "I have no desire for riches or glory. My wish is simple: I want to understand the world, to learn its secrets, and to share them with others. If the Starstone can help me do that, then I ask for its power. If not, I will leave peacefully." Seraphina studied Aiden for a long moment. She could see the truth in his words, and in his heart, she sensed a genuine desire to help others. the dragon lowered her head, her eyes softening. "You are indeed different, young prince," Seraphina said. "Your wish is pure, and your heart is true. The Starstone lies within the cave, but be warned, its power is immense, and it can only be used by those who understand its responsibility." With that, Seraphina stepped aside, allowing Aiden to pass. He walked into the cave, his footsteps echoing off the stone walls. The air inside was cool and still, and at the very end of the cave, he saw it, the Starstone. It was a large, radiant crystal, pulsating with a soft blue light that seemed to contain the essence of the night sky. As Aiden approached the Starstone, he felt a warmth spread through his body, and his mind filled with visions of distant lands, new discoveries, and the faces of people he had yet to meet. He reached out and touched the Starstone, and at that moment, he understood its true nature. The Starstone was not just a source of power, it was a beacon of wisdom, guiding those who sought knowledge and truth. Aiden knew that his wish had already been granted, not through the stone's magic, but through the journey he had undertaken and the lessons he had learned along the way. He turned and left the cave, thanking Seraphina for her guidance. The dragon smiled, a rare expression for such a fierce creature. "You are wise beyond your years, Aiden. The Starstone has chosen you as its guardian. Use its power wisely and share your knowledge with the world." With a final nod, Aiden set off on his journey back home, the Starstone now safely in his care. When he returned to the kingdom, the people were overjoyed to see him, and they marveled at the glowing stone he carried. Aiden became known as the Wise Prince, a leader who ruled with compassion, curiosity, and a deep respect for the world's mysteries. Under his guidance, the kingdom prospered, and the people flourished. Aiden continued to explore, learn, and share his discoveries, always remembering the lessons of the Enchanted Valley in the guardian dragon who had seen the truth in his heart. And so, Prince Aiden's tale became legend, passed down through the generations, a story of courage, wisdom, and the belief that true power lies not in riches or glory, but in the knowledge we gain and the good we do with it. In a land where rolling hills met shimmering lakes, there was a village called Eldoria, known for its serene beauty and starry nights. Eldoria was famous for its enchanting starry lake, a magical place where the reflections of the stars danced on the water's surface. Legends told of a hidden song that played only when the moon was full and the lake's waters were still. In this village lived a young girl named Elara, who loved the starry lake more than anything. Elara was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often spent her evenings by the lake, dreaming of the day she might hear the fabled song. One evening, as the full moon rose high and the lake sparkled like a sea of stars, Elara noticed something strange. The usually calm waters of the lake began to ripple, and the starry reflections seemed to waver. Elara felt a sense of urgency. She remembered the old tales her grandmother had told her about a song that could only be heard and the moon's light touched the lake at the exact moment. Determined to uncover the mystery, Elara decided to seek out the source of the song. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of determination, she set off toward the heart of the forest that bordered the lake. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Elara encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl's feathers shimmered with a silver light, reflecting the moon's glow. "Wise owl, can you help me?" Elara asked. "The starry lake song seems to be lost, and I need to find it before the night ends." The owl, named Orin, looked at her with knowing eyes. "To find the song, you must follow the path of moonlight through the forest and solve 3 trials that guard the heart of the lake." With that, Orin spread his wings and pointed with his beak toward a winding path illuminated by moonlight. Elara thanked him and began her journey along the path. The first trial was a field of enchanted flowers that glowed softly in the moonlight. As Elara walked through the field, she noticed that the flowers were singing a gentle melody. However, the song was incomplete, as if something were missing. A mischievous sprite named Leora appeared among the flowers. "To pass this trial, you must restore harmony to the melody," Leora said. "The flowers need a lullaby to complete their song." Elara remembered a lullaby her mother used to sing to her. With a soft, soothing voice, she began to sing the lullaby. The flowers responded by glowing brighter and singing along, creating a harmonious melody. The path ahead became clearer, and Leora waved goodbye, letting Alara continue. The second trial led Alara to a crystal-clear pond surrounded by whispering reeds. A gentle mist hovered over the water, and a shimmering figure emerged, a graceful water nymph named Seraphina. To continue, Seraphina said, "You must find the missing note of the song hidden in the pond's depths. Only then will the waters guide you." Alara peered into the pond and saw a small, iridescent note resting at the bottom. Without hesitation, she reached into the water and retrieved the note. As she held it up, the mist parted, revealing a bridge made of moonlight that led to the final trial. The third trial took Alara to a grand oak tree with branches that reached towards the sky. The tree's leaves were silver and seemed to hum with a soft, rhythmic pulse. A wise old faun named Thorn appeared, leaning on a gnarled staff. "Here lies the final trial," Thorn said. "You must listen to the rhythm of the leaves and match their beats with your own heart." Alara closed her eyes and listened carefully to the tree's rhythm. She focused on her heartbeat, letting its steady pulse guide her. As she matched the rhythm, the tree's leaves began to glow brighter, and the final part of the song became clear. With all three trials completed, Alara followed the path to the heart of the lake, where the waters were calm and mirror-like. As she approached, she saw the source of the song, a beautiful, ancient harp resting on a pedestal in the center of the lake. Alara touched the harp gently, and the lake's waters began to ripple in time with the melody. The reflections of the stars danced across the surface, and the full, enchanting song of the starry lake filled the air. The music was as timeless as the stars themselves, a symphony of celestial beauty. Alara felt a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. She had restored the lost song and brought harmony back to the starry lake. As she returned to the village, the villagers gathered by the lake, marveling at the magical music that now filled their nights. From that day on, the Starry Lake song played every full moon, a reminder of Alara's bravery and the timeless magic of their world. The village of Eldoria thrived under the starry sky, with the lake song inspiring dreams and spreading joy to all who listened. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was a grand castle ruled by a wise and kind king. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isabella, who was loved by all for her grace and generosity. However, despite her many blessings, Isabella had one great sorrow. Her beloved mother, the queen, had vanished many years ago under mysterious circumstances. One day, while exploring the castle's attic, Isabella discovered an old, dusty mirror hidden beneath a tapestry. The mirror was ornate, framed with intricate patterns of gold and silver. As she polished it, the glass shimmered and a soft voice whispered from within. "I am the enchanted mirror," the voice said. "To find what you seek, you must embark on a quest and face 3 challenges. Only then will you uncover the truth about your mother's disappearance." Determined to bring her mother back, Princess Isabella accepted the challenge. The mirror revealed a map, pointing to a hidden forest far beyond the kingdom's borders. With the blessing of her father and the encouragement of her friends, Isabella set off on her journey, accompanied by her loyal horse, Starlight. As Isabella ventured into the mysterious forest, she marveled at its beauty. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves glistening like emeralds. The air was filled with the songs of magical creatures, and the path was illuminated by glowing fireflies. The first challenge was the trial of courage. Isabella came across a dark, foreboding cave guarded by a fierce, magical lion with a mane that sparkled like the night sky. The lion roared, and the cave's entrance was surrounded by swirling mist. Though scared, Isabella approached the lion and spoke bravely. "I seek to find the truth about my mother. Please let me pass." The lion, sensing her sincerity and bravery, softened. "You may enter, but you must face the cave's darkness and find the hidden crystal within. Only then will you prove your courage." Isabella ventured into the cave, using a small lantern to guide her way. She navigated through twisting tunnels and avoided treacherous traps. At the heart of the cave, she discovered a glowing crystal resting on a pedestal. As she touched the crystal, the cave was filled with light, and the lion nodded in approval. The second challenge was the trial of wisdom. Isabella arrived at a serene, enchanted glade where a wise old owl perched on a high branch. The owl presented her with a riddle: I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I? Isabella pondered the riddle, thinking deeply about its meaning. After a moment of contemplation, she answered, a cloud. The owl hooted in delight, and a hidden path appeared, leading her to the final challenge. The third challenge was the trial of compassion. Isabella found herself in a magical meadow where many animals, from tiny mice to majestic deer, were in distress. The meadow had been affected by a long, harsh winter, and the animals were hungry and cold. Without hesitation, Isabella used the supplies she had brought to care for the animals. She shared her food, built shelters from nearby branches, and used her warmth to comfort the creatures. As she worked, the meadow began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the animals' spirits were lifted. With the trials complete, the enchanted mirror appeared before Isabella, its surface reflecting a vision of her mother. The mirror revealed that her mother had been captured by a wicked sorceress who had hidden her away in a distant, enchanted tower. Guided by the mirror's directions, Isabella and Starlight journeyed to the enchanted tower. The tower was tall and covered in thorns, surrounded by a magical barrier. With courage and determination, Isabella approached the barrier and used the wisdom and compassion she had gained from the trials to find the key to the barrier's lock. Inside the tower, she found her mother, who was overjoyed to see her. The sorceress, realizing that Isabella's love and bravery had broken her spell, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. Isabella and her mother returned to the castle, where they were welcomed with great joy and celebration. The kingdom rejoiced at their reunion, and the enchanted mirror's magic was restored to its place in the castle, a reminder of the power of love and perseverance. Princess Isabella's bravery and kindness were celebrated throughout the land, and her mother's return brought new hope and happiness to the kingdom. The enchanted mirror remained a cherished artifact, a symbol of the quest that had reunited a family and proven the strength of the human heart. And so, Princess Isabella lived happily ever after, knowing that with courage, wisdom, and compassion, even the most challenging quests could be overcome. The end. Once upon a time, in the faraway kingdom of Ilaria, there was a beautiful and mysterious flower that bloomed only once every 100 years. Known as the starflower, it glowed with a radiant light that shimmered like the stars themselves. Legend said that whoever possessed a starflower could make a wish that would come true, no matter how impossible. Princess Elowen, the youngest daughter of King Aldric, had heard stories of the starflower her entire life. She was a curious and adventurous soul, unlike her older sisters, who preferred the comforts of the palace. Elowen longed for a life full of magic and wonder beyond the kingdom's borders. As fate would have it, the starflower was due to bloom again on the night of her 16th birthday. The entire kingdom buzzed with excitement, and people from far and wide gathered in Ilaria to witness the rare bloom. But for Elowen, this was no mere celebration, it was her chance to change her fate. The night of the bloom arrived, and a grand festival was held. Elowen, dressed in her royal gown, snuck away from the palace. She made her way through the enchanted forest, following the glowing trail of fireflies that were said to lead to the starflower's hidden location. Deep in the forest, she encountered magical creatures, talking owls, mischievous sprites, and even a grumpy old troll guarding a bridge. "What is a princess like you doing in a place like this?" the troll asked, narrowing his eyes. "I'm seeking the starflower," Elowen replied confidently. The troll chuckled. "Many have sought the starflower, but few have returned. You must answer my riddle to pass." Elowen smiled, unfazed by the challenge. "I accept." The troll cleared his throat. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Elowen pondered for a moment, then said, "An echo." The troll grinned, showing his sharp teeth. "Very well, princess. You may pass, but beware. The starflower tests the heart of all who seek it. Eloan nodded and crossed the bridge, venturing deeper into the forest. The air grew cooler, and the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Finally, she reached a clearing where the starflower stood. It was more beautiful than she had ever imagined. Its petals shimmered like diamonds, casting a soft, glowing light across the clearing. But as Eloan approached, a voice echoed in her mind, "To take the starflower, you must make a wish. But be warned, your heart's true desire will be revealed." Star. Eloan hesitated. She had always dreamed of adventure, of leaving the palace and exploring the world. But as she gazed at the starflower, another thought crept into her mind. She thought of her family, her father the king, who had grown weary and ill in recent years. The kingdom needed a ruler who could bring peace and prosperity. Could she wish for the throne? Or for her father's health? With trembling hands, Eloan reached for the starflower. "I wish," she began, but the words caught in her throat. Suddenly, the starflower glowed brighter, and the ground beneath her feet shifted. A figure emerged from the light. It was an old woman, her eyes sparkling with wisdom. "Your wish need not be spoken aloud, child," the woman said softly. "The starflower reveals the truth in your heart. And what you truly desire is not adventure or power, but the courage to be the ruler your kingdom needs." Tears filled Eloan's eyes as the woman's words struck her. She had always feared the responsibility of the crown, but deep down, she knew her kingdom needed a leader who was brave and compassionate. The old woman smiled and touched Eloan's forehead. "The starflower has granted you its gift. You will become the ruler Elaria needs, and your heart will guide you. But remember, true power lies not in magic, but in love and kindness." With that, the woman and the starflower vanished, leaving Eloan standing alone in the clearing. But she was no longer afraid. She knew now that her journey was not about seeking adventure, but about embracing her destiny. When she returned to the palace, the kingdom welcomed her with open arms. King Aldric, seeing the change in his daughter, knew that the time had come for her to lead. Eloan ruled with wisdom and grace, bringing peace to the land. And though the starflower was gone, its magic lived on in her heart. And so, the legend of the Starflower Princess was born, a tale of courage, love, and the true meaning of power. And though Eloan's adventures took her far and wide, she always remembered that the greatest magic of all was found not in distant lands, but in the choices we make with our hearts. The end. Once upon a time, in a land known for its breathtaking beauty and peaceful harmony, there was a small village named Rivendell. Rivendell was blessed with fertile lands and a crystal-clear river that flowed through it. This river was unlike any other. It sparkled with a silvery sheen, and its waters were said to hold magical properties. The villagers believed that the river had the power to grant one wish to those who truly needed it. In Rivendell lived a kind-hearted young woman named Eliana. She was known for her generosity and unwavering optimism. Though she was loved by everyone in the village, Eliana had a secret longing. She wished to heal her ailing grandmother, who had been bedridden for many months. The village healer had tried every remedy, but nothing seemed to work. One day, while walking along the riverbank, Eliana noticed something unusual, a faint glow emanating from beneath the water. Driven by hope, she waded into the river and discovered a small, intricately carved box submerged in the silvery depths. The box was adorned with mystical symbols and appeared to be enchanted. Eliana carefully retrieved the box and opened it. Inside, she found an ancient parchment in a delicate, glowing crystal. The parchment read, "Brave heart who seeks the river's aid, to heal the sick and mend the broken, heed the call of the ancient road. 3 trials await, each a path to the river's core, prove your worth, and the magic shall be yours forevermore." Determined to save her grandmother, Eliana set off on a journey to face the trials. The parchment detailed the locations of the 3 trials, each one set in a different part of the mystical forest that bordered the village. The first trial, the Trial of Courage, led Eliana to a hidden cave at the base of a towering cliff. The cave was filled with shadows that danced menacingly on the walls. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a large, growling guardian beast, its eyes glowing with a fierce light. Eliana's heart pounded, but she stood firm. With calm and gentle words, she spoke to the beast, acknowledging its role as the cave's protector. "I seek only the river's magic to heal my grandmother," she said sincerely. The beast's growl softened, and it stepped aside, revealing a glowing gemstone that Eliana carefully placed in her satchel. The second trial, the trial of wisdom, took Eliana to an ancient grove where the trees formed a labyrinth. In the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient oak with a face carved into its trunk. The oak spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "To find your way through the labyrinth, you must solve the riddle I pose. Answer truly, and the path will be revealed." The oak's riddle was, "I can fly without wings, I can cry without eyes, whenever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Eliana thought deeply, considering the riddle's clues. After a moment, she answered, "A cloud." The oak's branches swayed approvingly, and a hidden path through the labyrinth emerged. At the end of the path, she found a silver feather, which she added to her collection. The final trial, the trial of compassion, led Eliana to a serene, moonlit glade. Here, she found a small, delicate fairy trapped under a fallen branch. The fairy's wings were fluttering weakly as it tried to free itself. Eliana gently lifted the branch and freed the fairy. "Thank you," the fairy said, her voice like the tinkling of bells. "Your kindness has restored my strength. As a token of my gratitude, I will guide you to the heart of the river where your wish can be fulfilled." The fairy led Eliana to a secluded part of the river, where the waters sparkled even more brightly. Eliana placed the gemstone and feather into the river's flow. The river responded with a dazzling display of light, and a gentle mist enveloped the area. From the mist emerged a serene, ethereal figure, the spirit of the river. "You have proven yourself with courage, wisdom, and compassion," the spirit said. "The magic of the river is now yours to use. The healing waters will flow to your grandmother." Eliana thanked the river spirit and hurried back to Rivendell. She collected some of the magical water in a vial and brought it to her grandmother. With hope in her heart, she administered the water to her grandmother. To everyone's amazement, her grandmother's health improved almost instantly. She sat up, her eyes sparkling with vitality. The village celebrated the miraculous recovery, and Eliana's bravery and selflessness were honored by all. The enchanted river continued to flow through Rivendell, its magic a reminder of the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion. Eliana's story became a cherished legend in the village, inspiring others to seek the magic within themselves and to help those in need. And so, Rivendell thrived, and Eliana's grandmother lived many more years, surrounded by the love and gratitude of her family. The river's magic continued to bring hope and healing, flowing with the gentle promise that the greatest magic comes from a heart filled with love. Once upon a time, in a distant corner of the world, there was a hidden isle known as Eldoria. This island was a place of great beauty and wonder, where towering trees whispered ancient secrets and crystal-clear rivers sparkled under the sun. Eldoria was protected by magical creatures and watched over by a mystical guardian, the celestial phoenix, named Seraphina. The legend of Eldoria spoke of a powerful artifact called the Heart of Eldoria. This gem was said to be the source of the island's magic, keeping the balance between nature and the enchanted beings that lived there. However, a dark sorcerer named Malachi coveted this power and sought to claim it for himself. One fateful day, Malachi's dark magic shattered the protective enchantments surrounding Eldoria, and the Heart of Eldoria was stolen. The isle was plunged into chaos, and its once vibrant beauty began to fade. The magical creatures grew restless, and the trees began to wither. In a small village on the edge of Eldoria, a young girl named Elara lived with her grandmother. Elara had always felt a deep connection to the island and had a natural talent for understanding its magic. Her grandmother, an old herbalist, often spoke of the ancient tales of Eldoria and its lost guardian. One evening, as a strange mist began to envelop the village, Elara discovered an ancient scroll hidden in her grandmother's belongings. The scroll told of a prophecy: when darkness falls upon Eldoria, a chosen one shall rise to reclaim the heart of Eldoria and restore balance to the land. Determined to save the island she loved, Elara set out on a journey to find the heart of Eldoria and restore the isle's magic. Guided by the scroll and her own intuition, she ventured into the heart of the island. Along the way, she encountered various magical beings, each with a piece of the puzzle. Her first encounter was with a wise old tree named Grandfather Oak, who spoke in deep, rumbling tones. To find the heart, you must first seek the 3 guardians of Eldoria, Grandfather Oak said. They hold the key to unlocking the path to the heart. Elara thanked Grandfather Oak and continued her journey. She soon arrived at the enchanted meadow, where she met the first guardian, a gentle unicorn named Luminera. Luminera's horn glowed with a soothing light, and she spoke with a voice like a melodious psalm. The heart of Eldoria is hidden within the Cavern of Echoes, Luminera said. But to enter, you must first gain the blessing of the next guardian. With Luminera's guidance, Elara journeyed to the Crystal Lake, where the second guardian, a wise and ancient sea dragon named Thalios, resided. Thalios emerged from the depths of the lake, his scales shimmering like stars. To gain my blessing, you must show me the purity of your heart, Thalios said. Elara performed a series of tasks set by Thalios, demonstrating her bravery and kindness. She rescued a trapped mermaid, healed a wounded sea creature, and calmed a storm that threatened the lake. Impressed, Thalios granted her his blessing and provided her with a magical pearl that would guide her to the Cavern of Echoes. With the pearl's light leading the way, Elara reached the final guardian, a majestic griffin named Zephyros, perched atop the Mountain of Whispers. Zephyros's wings spread wide, casting a shadow over the land. The final trial is one of courage, Zephyros said. You must face your deepest fears to prove your worth. Elara entered the Mountain of Whispers, where she confronted illusions that tested her resolve. The illusions took the form of her greatest fears, losing her loved ones, failing in her quest, and being unable to save Eldoria. Through sheer determination and the support of her new friends, Elara overcame the trials and emerged victorious. Zephyros, seeing her bravery, granted her the final key, a golden feather that would unlock the Cavern of Echoes. With the feather in hand, Elara made her way to the cavern's entrance, hidden deep within the heart of Eldoria. Inside the cavern, the air was thick with magic, and the walls sparkled with ancient runes. At the cavern's center, atop a pedestal, lay the heart of Eldoria, glowing with a soft, pulsing light. But standing between Elara and the heart was Malachi, who had been waiting for her. You're too late, child, Malachi sneered. The power of the heart is mine. A fierce battle ensued, with Malachi using dark magic to try to seize the heart. Elara, guided by her courage and the blessings of the guardians, fought valiantly. Her pure heart and unwavering determination allowed her to counter Malachi's dark spells and protect the heart. In a final, climactic moment, Elara used the magical pearl to create a barrier of light around the heart, overpowering Malachi's darkness. The heart of Eldoria was safe once more, and the island began to restore its magic. With the heart of Eldoria returned to its rightful place, the isle flourished again. The trees regained their lush green, the river sparkled brightly, and the magical creatures danced in joy. The celestial phoenix, Seraphina, appeared before Elara, her wings radiant and majestic. You have proven yourself worthy, Elara, Seraphina said. You have restored balance to Eldoria and safeguarded its magic. The kingdom will forever be grateful. Elara returned to her village as a hero, celebrated for her bravery and heart. The people of Eldoria rejoiced, and the once forgotten isle became a place of harmony and wonder once more. Elara continued to protect and cherish the island, her tale becoming a legend passed down through generations. And so, the Moonlit Kingdom thrived under the renewed magic of the heart of Eldoria, with Elara's story inspiring all who heard it to face their own challenges with courage and a pure heart. The end. The princess and the stonecutter. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and flowing rivers, there was a kind and just king who ruled with wisdom and grace. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isla, who was loved by all for her gentle heart and adventurous spirit. Despite her royal duties, Isla often slipped away from the castle to explore the forests, mountains, and villages of the kingdom. she loved nothing more than to learn about the lives of her people and to help them in any way she could. One day, while exploring a remote village at the foot of the mountains, Princess Isla came across a young stonecutter named Rowan. He was strong and skilled, known throughout the village for his ability to shape even the hardest stone into works of art. But despite his talent, Rowan was humble and lived a simple life, working from dawn until dusk to support his family. As Isla watched Rowan work, she noticed something peculiar. Every time Rowan struck his chisel against the stone, a small spark of light would flash, as if the stone itself were alive. Intrigued, Isla approached Rowan and asked him about his craft. Rowan looked up from his work and smiled. "These stones are special, Princess," he said. "They come from the heart of the mountain, where it is said that ancient magic still lingers. When I carve them, I can sometimes feel that magic flowing through my hands." Isla was fascinated. She had heard stories of the ancient magic in the mountains, but she had never seen it for herself. "What do you do with the stones once you've shaped them?" she asked. "I make many things," Rowan replied. "Statues, pillars, and sometimes even jewelry. But the most important thing I carve is the heartstone." "The heartstone?" Isla echoed, curious. "What is that?" Rowan stood up and wiped the sweat from his brow. "The heartstone is a tradition in our village. Every year, I carve a special stone in the shape of a heart and place it at the center of the village square. It is believed that as long as the heartstone remains whole, our village will be protected from harm." Isla was moved by the story. "May I see the heartstone?" she asked. Rowan nodded and led Isla to the village square. In the center of the square stood a large stone heart, polished to a gleaming finish. It radiated a soft, warm light, and Isla could feel the magic within it. The villagers had decorated the square with flowers and ribbons, and children played around the heartstone, laughing and singing. "It's beautiful," Isla said, her voice filled with awe. "You've done a wonderful thing for your village, Rowan." Rowan smiled modestly. "It's not just my work, Princess. The heartstone is a symbol of our unity and strength. As long as we stand together, the stone will remain strong." Isla spent the rest of the day in the village, getting to know the people and learning more about their traditions. She was so impressed by the stonecutter's skill and the villagers' sense of community that she decided to return to the castle and tell her father about what she had seen. That evening, as Isla dined with her father, she told him all about Rowan and the heartstone. The king listened intently, and when Isla had finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "It is clear that the young stonecutter has great talent," the king said. "But more importantly, he understands the value of unity and hard work. I would like to meet him." The next day, the king and Princess Isla traveled to the village to meet Rowan. The king was impressed by Rowan's humility and skill, and after hearing about the heartstone, he made a decision. "Rowan," the king said, "would like to commission you to create a heartstone for the entire kingdom. It will be placed in the grand square of the capital, where it will symbolize the unity and strength of all our people." Rowan was honored by the request but also overwhelmed. "Your Majesty, it would be a great honor, but the magic in the stones from our village is special. I'm not sure if it will work in the capital." The king smiled kindly. "I believe the magic lies not just in the stone, but in the hands and heart of the one who shapes it. You have the talent, and with your skill, I have no doubt that you can create a heartstone worthy of the entire kingdom." Encouraged by the king's words, Rowan agreed to take on the task. He worked tirelessly for weeks, selecting the finest stones from the mountains and carefully carving them into the shape of a heart. As he worked, he could feel the magic flowing through his hands, just as it had before, but this time it was even stronger. It was as if the hopes and dreams of the entire kingdom were being infused into the stone. When the heartstone was finally complete, it was even more magnificent than the one in the village. It shone with a bright, pure light, and when Rowan touched it, he felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The king and Princess Isla were overjoyed and they saw the finished heartstone. It was placed in the grand square of the capital, where people from all corners of the kingdom came to see it. The heartstone became a symbol of the kingdom's unity, and it was said that as long as it remained whole, the kingdom would be safe from any harm. Rowan was hailed as a hero, but he remained humble, always reminding people that the true magic came from their unity and strength. Princess Isla and Rowan became close friends, and she often visited him in his village to see how he was doing and to learn more about his craft. As the years passed, the kingdom prospered, and the Heartstone remained a shining symbol of peace and unity. And though the people celebrated Rowan for his great work, he always insisted that it was the love and support of his fellow villagers, and the encouragement of a kind princess, that had made the magic possible. And so, the kingdom lived on in peace and harmony, protected by the magic of the Heartstone and the unity of its people. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, nestled between misty hills and rolling meadows, there was a small village called Brookhaven. The village was known for its gentle folk and peaceful life, but it held a deep secret, a tale of a forgotten kingdom, a land of magic and splendor that had vanished from the world many years ago. The story spoke of an enchanted lantern that could reveal the forgotten kingdom to those with a pure heart and noble intentions. This lantern, with its intricate patterns and glowing light, was said to be hidden in the forest, awaiting someone worthy to find it and restore the kingdom's lost magic. In Brookhaven lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Arya. Arya had always been fascinated by the legends of the Forgotten Kingdom. Every evening, she would sit by the fireplace with her grandmother, listening to tales of enchanted realms and heroic quests. One stormy night, as the wind howled and rain tapped against the window, Arya found an old, dusty lantern in the attic, tucked away among forgotten trinkets. The lantern was adorned with shimmering stars and moons, and when Arya touched it, it glowed softly, casting a warm light. Remembering the tales, Arya's heart raced. Could this be the enchanted lantern from the legend? Determined to uncover the truth, Arya set off into the forest with the lantern in hand. The rain had stopped, and a silvery mist hung in the air. Guided by the lantern's soft glow, she ventured deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. After hours of walking, Arya arrived at a clearing where the lantern's light grew brighter, revealing an ancient archway covered in ivy and moss. The archway led to a hidden path that shimmered with magical energy. Arya stepped through the archway, and the world around her seemed to change. The forest gave way to a breathtaking landscape of floating islands, glittering waterfalls, and sparkling meadows. She had found the Forgotten Kingdom. As Arya explored the kingdom, she noticed that it was both beautiful and desolate, as if time had stood still. The kingdom's magic seemed dormant, and its enchanting creatures were nowhere to be seen. At the heart of the kingdom stood a grand palace, its spires reaching towards the sky and its halls echoing with silence. Inside the palace, Arya encountered a regal figure, a queen with a crown of starlight and eyes like the night sky. The queen introduced herself as Queen Lyra, the last ruler of the Forgotten Kingdom. "Welcome, brave Arya," Queen Lyra said with a voice that was both melancholy and hopeful. "You have found our kingdom and awakened the lantern's magic. To restore our land's enchantment, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your heart and spirit." Arya nodded, ready to take on the challenge. "What must I do?" Task 1, the Withered Garden. Queen Lyra led Arya to a once vibrant garden where flowers had withered and trees stood barren. The garden's magic had been lost due to a curse of sadness. To restore the garden, Arya had to plant a special seed and care for it with love and patience. She found the seed in a golden pouch and planted it in the center of the garden. With tender care, she watered it and sang to it. As she did, the garden began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the trees regained their lush foliage. Task 2, the Crystal Lake. The second task took Arya to a crystal-clear lake that had become dark and murky. The lake's magic had been clouded by a spell of sorrow. Arya discovered that the lake's waters could be cleansed by sharing a heartfelt story. She sat by the lake and recounted tales of joy, hope, and friendship from her village. As her stories flowed, the waters began to sparkle once more, reflecting the clear, radiant light of the sky. Task 3, the Enchanted Fountain. The final task brought Arya to a grand fountain in the palace courtyard. The fountain had once been a source of pure, magical water but had run dry. To restore it, Arya needed to fill it with a special elixir made from the essence of hope and dreams. She discovered that the elixir could be created by mixing moonlight with a drop of her own tears of happiness. Arya collected moonlight in a crystal vial and added a single tear. When she poured the elixir into the fountain, it began to flow with shimmering, magical water. With all tasks completed, the Forgotten Kingdom's magic was fully restored. The land came alive with vibrant colors, enchanting creatures, and a renewed sense of wonder. Queen Lyra thanked Arya for her bravery and kindness. "You have brought back the magic of our kingdom," Queen Lyra said. "As a token of our gratitude, we wish to offer you a gift." Queen Lyra presented Arya with a beautifully carved box. Inside was a magical gem that would allow Arya to visit the Forgotten Kingdom whenever she wished. The gem's light would guide her back to the land of enchantment. Arya returned to Brookhaven, her heart filled with joy and wonder. She shared the story of her adventure and the magic of the Forgotten Kingdom with her village. The enchanted lantern was placed in a special place, and the tale of Arya's bravery and the kingdom's revival became a cherished legend in Brookhaven. And so, the legend of the enchanted lantern and the Forgotten Kingdom lived on, a reminder that even the most hidden magic could be discovered by those with a pure heart and a spirit of adventure. The kingdom flourished once more, and its beauty was shared with the world, inspiring future generations to seek out their own wonders and embrace the magic within their hearts. In the heart of the tranquil village of Silverwood, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there was a hidden gem known only to the locals, the Whispering Lake. This lake, surrounded by lush trees and wildflowers, was famous for its soft, soothing whispers that told tales of old. The villagers believed that the lake held a great secret, but no one had ever fully discovered what it was. The lake was guarded by an old, wise woman named Elowen. She lived in a small cottage at the edge of the lake and was known for her deep connection with nature. Elowen's life was dedicated to preserving the secrets of the lake and ensuring its magic remained safe. It was said that she possessed a key that could unlock the lake's hidden wonders, but it was kept safe and known only to her. One day, a curious young boy named Finn arrived in Silverwood. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and love for solving mysteries. He had heard tales of the Whispering Lake and decided to visit, hoping to uncover its secrets. When he arrived, he was captivated by the lake's beauty and the gentle whispers that seemed to speak directly to his heart. Finn met Elowen and, sensing his genuine curiosity and kind nature, she decided to share a part of the lake's magic with him. She told Finn about the 3 ancient tasks that needed to be completed to reveal the lake's deepest secret. "You have a brave heart, Finn," Elowen said. "If you wish to uncover the lake's secret, you must prove your worth by completing these tasks. Each task will test your courage, wisdom, and compassion." Finn eagerly accepted the challenge. Elowen handed him a small, ornate box. "This box contains a piece of the lake's magic. Use it wisely, and it will guide you through the tasks." Task 1, the Echoing Cave. The first task led Finn to the Echoing Cave, a cavern hidden behind a waterfall at the far end of the lake. The cave was known for its mysterious echoes, which could only be heard when the cave was perfectly still. To complete the task, Finn needed to bring Harmony back to the cave, which had been disturbed by a spell of discord. Inside the cave, Finn found a series of old musical instruments scattered around. To restore Harmony, he had to play a melody that would calm the echoes. Remembering the gentle tunes his grandmother used to play on her flute, Finn took out the flute he carried and began to play a soft, calming melody. The echoes in the cave gradually harmonized with his music, creating a soothing and peaceful resonance. The cave's magic was restored, and Finn felt a warm glow from the box in his hand. Task 2, the Enchanted Garden. The second task brought Finn to the Enchanted Garden, an overgrown and forgotten area filled with wilted plants and faded flowers. The garden had once been a place of beauty, but it had lost its magic over the years. To restore it, Finn needed to rekindle the garden's enchantment by tending to it with care and kindness. Finn discovered a set of magical seeds hidden beneath a large, ancient oak tree. He planted the seeds in the garden soil, carefully watering and nurturing them with a special mixture Elowen had given him. As he worked, he spoke to the plants and flowers, sharing stories of his village and the love he had for nature. Gradually, the garden began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of flowers once more. The box's light grew brighter, signaling that the task was complete. Task 3, the Heart of the Lake. The final task took Finn to the center of the Whispering Lake, where he needed to unlock the Heart of the Lake, a legendary gem said to hold the essence of the lake's magic. Iloan had told him that the gem was hidden in a submerged grotto, protected by a riddle only a true heart could solve. Finn used a small boat to reach the grotto, which was beneath the lake's surface. Inside the grotto, he found an ornate chest and a riddle inscribed on its lid. The riddle read, "I am not seen but always near, I whisper softly in your ear. To find the heart that lies below, trust your heart and let it show." Finn pondered the riddle and thought about his journey. He realized that the answer was not something he could see but something he felt, trust and love. He placed his hand on the chest and spoke from his heart, expressing his gratitude for the beauty and magic he had discovered. The chest's lid slowly opened, revealing the heart of the lake, a glowing gem that pulsed with a gentle, soothing light. With the heart of the lake uncovered, Finn returned to Iloan. She congratulated him on completing the tasks and thanked him for his bravery and kindness. The Whispering Lake's true magic was now revealed. It had the power to bring peace and harmony to all who visited it with a pure heart. Iloan shared the lake's magic with Finn, giving him a small vial of its essence. "This will allow you to carry a part of the lake's magic with you, and it will guide you wherever you go." Finn returned to his village with a heart full of wonder and a deep sense of fulfillment. He shared the story of his adventure and the magic of the Whispering Lake with his friends and family, inspiring them to cherish and protect the beauty and magic in their own lives. And so, the tale of Finn and the Whispering Lake became a cherished story in Silverwood, a reminder that true magic lies in the courage, wisdom, and compassion found within each of us. The lake continued to whisper its tales to those who visited with open hearts, forever guarding its secrets and spreading its enchantment throughout the land. Once upon a time, in a hidden corner of the world, lay the forgotten kingdom of Astria. This kingdom was renowned for its dazzling beauty, with skies filled with twinkling stars, and fields that sparkled under the moonlight. At the heart of Astria was the Starflower Garden, where magical flowers bloomed only under the light of the stars, their petals glowing with celestial light. These starflowers were said to hold the power to grant wishes and bring prosperity to the kingdom. The guardian of the Starflower Garden was a gentle fairy named Leora. Leora was beloved by the people of Astria for her wisdom and her nurturing care of the magical flowers. However, one day, a great shadow fell over Astria. A wicked sorceress named Vesper, envious of the kingdom's light and beauty, cast a dark spell that caused the stars to vanish from the sky, plunging the kingdom into perpetual night. With the stars gone, the starflowers began to wilt, and the kingdom's once vibrant beauty faded into darkness. The people of Astria were filled with despair. And their once prosperous land was now a cold, dark shadow of its former self. It was then that a brave young girl named Ilara stepped forward. Ilara had grown up hearing stories of the Starflower Garden and had always dreamed of seeing its magic. Determined to save her kingdom, she vowed to find the missing stars and restore the light to Astria. Ilara set off on her journey under the dim glow of the moon. Her first challenge came at the edge of the enchanted forest, a place where ancient trees whispered secrets and magical creatures roamed. The forest was now a place of eerie silence, the enchantment of old faded away. As Ilara walked deeper into the forest, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion. To restore the stars, Orion said, you must pass through the Forest of Echoes. There, you will find 3 trials that test your heart and your spirit. Only by completing these trials will you be able to continue your quest. Ilara nodded, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Orion guided her to the entrance of the Forest of Echoes, where the first trial awaited. The first trial, the trial of courage. In the Forest of Echoes, Ilara faced a dark and winding path shrouded in mist. The air was thick with shadows, and eerie noises filled the silence. At the end of the path stood a grand archway guarded by a fearsome dragon named Draconis. the dragon's scales were as dark as the night, and his eyes glowed with a fierce light. To pass, Draconis rumbled, you must confront your deepest fear and prove your courage. Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward. She faced her fear of the unknown, her heart pounding as the shadows seemed to close in around her. But she reminded herself of her purpose and her love for her kingdom. With unwavering resolve, she walked through the archway, and the shadows parted to reveal the next challenge. The second trial, the trial of wisdom. The second trial brought Elara to a serene glade where a shimmering pool of water lay. The guardian of the pool, a graceful water nymph named Neres, awaited her. To proceed, Neres said, you must answer this riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Elara thought deeply about the riddle. She listened to the rustling of the leaves and the whispering breeze. An echo, she answered. Neres smiled and the pool's surface rippled, revealing a hidden path that led to the final trial. The third trial, the trial of compassion. The final trial led Elara to a moonlit meadow where a small, wounded unicorn named Luna lay. Luna's silver horn was dulled, and her once bright eyes were filled with pain. To lift the darkness, Luna spoke softly, you must heal me with the light of your compassion. Only a heart filled with true kindness can restore my strength. Elara knelt beside Luna and gently tended to her wounds. She spoke soothing words and shared stories of her homeland, hoping to bring comfort. As she cared for Luna, her genuine compassion began to shine through, and the unicorn's strength returned. Luna's horn began to glow once more, and she rose to her feet with renewed vitality. You have completed the trials with courage, wisdom, and compassion, Luna said. Follow me, and I will guide you to the source of the darkness. Luna led Elara to a hidden cavern where Vesper, the wicked sorceress, was using the stolen stars to fuel her dark magic. The cavern was filled with a cold, unnatural light, and the stars were trapped in a swirling vortex of shadow. Elara approached Vesper with a steady heart. Please, return the stars to their rightful place. The kingdom of Astria needs them to restore its light and beauty. Vesper's eyes flashed with anger, but as she looked at Elara, she saw the sincerity and bravery in her heart. The sorceress had been consumed by jealousy and darkness, but Elara's compassion reached her soul. With a heavy sigh, Vesper released the stars from their prison, and the celestial lights began to ascend back to the sky. As the stars returned, the night sky of Astria sparkled once more. And the starflowers in the garden began to bloom with their magical glow. The kingdom was bathed in a warm, golden light, and the darkness was lifted. Elara returned to Glimmerbrook as a hero, and the people celebrated her bravery and kindness. Vesper, her heart touched by the beauty of compassion, chose to leave behind her dark ways and seek a path of redemption. The Starflower Garden thrived again, and Astria was restored to its former glory. The story of Elara's quest and the trials she faced became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion in the face of darkness. And so, the stars continued to shine brightly over the forgotten kingdom, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the light that can be found in even the darkest of times. In a quiet village nestled beside a vast, whispering forest, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was renowned for its gentle rustling leaves that seemed to murmur secrets and old tales when the wind blew. Villagers often visited the tree for wisdom and guidance, believing that it held the secrets of a long-lost kingdom. Among the villagers was a curious young girl named Mira. Mira had always been fascinated by the stories of the Lost Kingdom and was determined to uncover its mysteries. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon began to rise, Mira ventured to the Whispering Willow. The moonlight danced on its leaves, and the tree's whispers grew louder, almost as if it were calling her. As Mira approached, she noticed a small, ornate box hidden among the tree's gnarled roots. The box was adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. When she opened it, she found a delicate silver key and a note that read, "To find the lost kingdom, you must follow the moon's light and complete 3 trials." Determined to embark on the quest, Mira set out under the light of the full moon, clutching the silver key tightly. The moon's glow seemed to guide her steps as she ventured deeper into the forest. Trial 1: The Enchanted Lake. The first trial led Mira to an enchanting lake, its waters sparkling like liquid stardust. At the lake's edge stood a beautiful, crystal-encrusted bridge leading to an island in the center. However, the bridge was shrouded in mist and could not be crossed. Mira discovered that to clear the mist and reveal the path, she needed to awaken the spirit of the lake. She saw a small, ancient horn lying near the water's edge. With a deep breath, she blew gently into the horn, producing a soft, melodious sound. As the music floated across the lake, the mist began to clear, revealing the bridge. As she crossed the bridge, she noticed that the lake's waters began to shimmer more brightly, and the spirit of the lake, a graceful figure made of water and light, appeared to thank her for freeing the path. Trial 2: The Twilight Grove. The second trial took Mira to the Twilight Grove, a mystical forest where the trees glowed softly with twilight hues. The grove was beautiful but silent, and Mira sensed that something was missing. In the center of the grove stood an old, ornate tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow, she found a set of crystal chimes and a small book of melodies. Mira realized that to restore the grove's magic, she needed to play the chimes with the melodies from the book. Mira carefully selected a melody and began to play the chimes. The music filled the grove, and as the notes resonated, the tree's glow intensified, and the grove was filled with the harmonious sound of the chimes. The grove came alive with a gentle, enchanting light, and the trees began to whisper joyful melodies. Trial 3: The Hidden Temple. The final trial led Mira to a hidden temple, partly concealed by vines and ancient stones. The entrance was blocked by a large stone door with a complex lock. The silver key she had found was the key to this door, but it also required a special touch to unlock. Mira examined the door closely and noticed a pattern of stars and moons that matched the carvings on the box. She carefully inserted the key into the lock and turned it slowly, aligning the symbols on the door with the key's design. As the door creaked open, Mira stepped inside. The interior of the temple was adorned with glittering mosaics and shimmering crystals. At the center of the temple was a grand throne, and upon it rested a radiant crown that glowed with a magical light. Mira approached the throne and placed the crown upon her head. As she did, the entire temple began to glow brightly, and the walls shimmered with ancient runes. The crown's magic activated a hidden mechanism, revealing a passage that led to the heart of the Lost Kingdom. Mira walked through the passage and emerged into a magnificent realm. The kingdom was a breathtaking sight. With towering spires, flowing rivers of silver, and lush gardens that sparkled with magic. The Lost Kingdom had been under a spell of slumber, waiting for someone with a pure heart and unwavering spirit to awaken it. The people of the kingdom greeted Mira with joy and gratitude. They explained that the kingdom had been hidden to protect it from a great danger long ago. Mira's bravery and kindness had restored their realm, and they welcomed her as a hero. As a token of their appreciation, the king and queen of the Lost Kingdom presented Mira with a magical pendant that would allow her to visit the kingdom whenever she wished. Mira thanked them and promised to share the story of their realm with her village. Returning to her village, Mira's heart was full of wonder and joy. She shared her incredible adventure with the villagers, and the tale of the Whispering Willow and the Lost Kingdom became a cherished legend in the village. The Whispering Willow continued to murmur its secrets and tales. And Mira's story inspired many to believe in the magic that lies hidden in the world, waiting to be discovered by those who dare to dream and explore. And so, the realm of the Lost Kingdom thrived once more, and Mira's adventure became a timeless reminder that bravery, kindness, and a pure heart can unlock the most wondrous of secrets. Once upon a time, in a serene village called Moonhaven, nestled between emerald hills and silvery lakes, there was a tradition that the villagers held dear. Every year, on the night of the harvest moon, they would light a lantern and release it into the sky. This lantern, known as the Midnight Lantern, was believed to carry their wishes to the stars. Among the villagers was a young boy named Finn. Finn was kind-hearted and curious, with a deep fascination for the stars. He had always listened to the tales of the Midnight Lantern but had never seen one sent to the heavens. This year, however, Finn was determined to make a wish for something very special. His beloved grandmother, who was wise and gentle, had fallen ill, and he wished for her recovery. As the harvest moon approached, the village bustled with preparations. Lanterns were crafted with care, adorned with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. Finn worked tirelessly on his lantern, decorating it with images of stars, moons, and a small heart at the center. He wrote his wish on a delicate piece of parchment and placed it inside the lantern. On the night of the harvest moon, the village gathered in the meadow to release their lanterns. The moon shone brightly, casting a magical glow over the land. One by one, the lanterns were lit, and their warm, golden lights floated gently into the sky. The air was filled with whispers of hope and dreams. When it was Finn's turn, he held his lantern close to his heart. With a silent prayer for his grandmother, he lit the lantern and watched as it began its ascent. The lantern floated upward, its light shimmering against the dark, velvet sky. But as it rose higher, a sudden gust of wind swept it off course, sending it drifting towards the dense forest at the edge of the village. Finn's heart sank as he saw his lantern veer off track. Determined to retrieve it, he set off into the forest, guided only by the soft glow of the moon. The forest was thick with ancient trees and tangled undergrowth, but Finn pressed on, following the flickering light of his lantern. As he ventured deeper, the moonlight began to fade, replaced by an otherworldly glow that seemed to emanate from the heart of the forest. Finn approached cautiously and found himself standing before a hidden grove bathed in a soft, blue light. In the center of the grove stood a magnificent, ancient tree with silver bark and shimmering leaves. It was the Tree of Whispers, a legendary tree said to possess magical properties. To Finn's amazement, his lantern was gently resting on a bed of moss beneath the tree. As he reached out to retrieve it, the tree's leaves rustled, and a soft voice spoke. "Welcome, young dreamer. I am the guardian of the Tree of Whispers. You have ventured far to recover your lantern. What is it that you seek?" Finn, though surprised, gathered his courage. "I wish for my grandmother to get better. She is very ill, and I want to bring her back to health." The guardian's eyes, which sparkled like distant stars, softened. "A noble wish indeed. To grant it, I must ask for a small favor in return. The Midnight Lantern is a bridge between dreams and reality. To restore balance and ensure your wish is fulfilled, you must perform an act of selflessness within this grove." Finn nodded, eager to help. The guardian pointed to a nearby pool of crystal-clear water, where a small, injured creature, a delicate moonlight deer with a wounded wing, lay resting. "This creature is in need of healing. If you help it, the magic of the lantern will be fully restored." Without hesitation, Finn approached the moonlight deer. He gently tended to its wound with a cloth from his satchel and offered it water from the crystal pool. He sang softly to soothe the creature, and his kindness seemed to make the grove itself brighten with warmth. The moonlight deer's wing began to heal, and it looked up at Finn with grateful eyes. The guardian, observing with approval, smiled. "You have shown great compassion and bravery. The magic of the Midnight Lantern will now be amplified." With a wave of the guardian's hand, the lantern glowed brighter than ever. Finn took it carefully and thanked the guardian. As he made his way back to the village, the lantern floated beside him, its light guiding him through the forest. When Finn returned to Moonhaven, the villagers gathered around, awestruck by the sight of the lantern's radiant glow. Finn placed the lantern gently on the ground and watched as it ascended once more into the sky, its light mingling with the stars. The next morning, Finn's grandmother began to recover. Her strength returned, and her smile was brighter than ever. The village rejoiced, grateful for the miracle. From that day forward, Finn's story became a cherished legend in Moonhaven, a tale of courage, kindness, and the magic of selfless wishes. The Midnight Lantern continued to light up the sky every harvest moon, reminding everyone that even the smallest act of kindness could shine as brightly as the stars.